must be horrible to live in places without luxury.
Day. Smythe is expecting you. If you'd just like to pop that bowler hat back on. No time to waste. Please make your way to the office. Smythe's ready to take your call.
I'm in touch with humanity.
Greetings. I trust you're well rested. Quite. I'm pleased to hear you're in good spirits. You need to be in good health, as we have a lot of work ahead of us. As I'm sure you've witnessed firsthand, the situation out there has changed. There's a feverish tension, an emergent frenzy. Decisive action is imperative. Truth be told, the situation on the ground is, and has been, unacceptable for far too long. My proximity to such savagery has been a constant, personal source of frustration. Simply put, there are extensive belligerent parties that have been distastefully ignored, tolerated for expediency. No more. Circumstances have evolved, and so should we. This compromise was the result of pragmatism, not will. The time has come for a transition towards a permanent arrangement. I do. Several, in fact. I am to take direct control of the Lord Chancellorship. For that, I need a royal decree. We want the transfer of power to look legitimate. The salient details are in the dossier on my desk. Call if you have any questions. Be seeing you. I trust you've read the list. Ask away. Naturally. The Baroness is the Lord Chamberlain, a considerable choke point in the functioning of the state. As such, our plans. You will need her to sign a royal appointment. If she chooses to value pedantry over my objectives, avail her of the holodisk I've given you. Any further questions? She's having an affair, and with one of those ghastly Thamesfolk at that. The gentry would find that obscene. Good. The effete Baron Winthrope may possess the demeanor of someone with class, but don't be mistaken. This pompous, precious pig has all of the squealing proclivities of a hedonist. He's a bottomless void of vulgar pleasure, yet you, must work with him. Convince him to stamp the royal appointment with the ceremonial seal. Any further questions? As is often the case with those obsessed with excess, it is his weakness. You can easily bribe him with any form of vulgar extravagance. Conversely, if anything were to threaten his access to such joys, his whole world would crumble. I trust your judgment. But my expectation is that seal is applied with zeal. I may not care for the Baron's tastes, but his favor would come cheaper than his subjugation. Good. Normally, I'd say Honeysett is a valued asset. But this reliance, in reality, has evolved into conceit. He's trying to consolidate his own influence over the judiciary, an unacceptable outcome. He has a protege, Cecily Sugar. Get rid of her. She's exuberant, an iconoclast. Our project requires guile and discipline. Send her back to Kingdom Come at one of her debates. Honeysett will quickly fall into line. We must be decisive and unsentimental. The profile for Cecily Sugar is comprehensive. Any potential she has is curbed by the risk of non-compliance. He'd never pursue her, but he's deeply infatuated with her. He seeks to have her intimately in his odd little orbit, dependent and thankful of his patronage. If you deny him of whatever future exists in his head, you show him that we control his destiny, not him. Besides, I'm saving him the inevitable torment of abandonment. Good. I'm glad. Be seeing you.
If I see one more up-and-comer peasant, I'll go mad!
I do hope Father's proud of me.
I'm afraid visitations are by invitation only. Yes, all this seems to be in order. Come right through and follow me.
I wish I could meet the Queen.
We won't go quietly. You can count on that.
It's as if we've stepped into a painting, except it smells a bit off.
You'd have to be insane to take on the Tommies.
God save our gracious Queen! Long live our noble Queen!
Smythe told me of your arrival. I'm afraid I cannot oblige you. Smythe seemed reticent to commit to the request to paper. That in itself caused a little apprehension. The requested document is not a trifling matter. In fact, even requesting it is a serious offense. I was so careful.
Please. You can't. You'd ruin my family. Fine, I don't agree with your methods, but this really is what's best for us all. Here is your decree. I cannot provide the seal, as you know. I can only hope that Smythe doesn't destroy everything we've built here in London. Given the lengths you're willing to go through, I'm not so sure.
Mind the gap and all that.
Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. Britons never, never shall be slaves.
wish I could meet the Queen.
Ponder the mysteries of the universe long enough, and they'll ponder back at you.
If you've come to challenge me, you'll have to wait. I've just been bested by another bestial young thing. Oh, you flatterer! I tell you, I'm spent. Now leave off. You've made me blush. I must admit, it's not done easily. Well, you are a delight, aren't you? You know, just before you came, I was commiserating the loss of my fine Scotch collection. Oh, blast. Just thinking about it has got me glum again. Oh, dear child, what I really want is more of that delectable booze. How about you be a perfect dear and find me a top-up? That Smythe is a slippery character. How low would I have to be to sell myself for so low a fee as a bottle of Scotch? Alas, I shall exercise what influence I have to give you your seal. People have a negative attitude. That's what's stopping them.
Life at the top is immensely satisfying.
If you'd just like to step over here. Yes, that all seems good to me. Have a good evening.
The show will begin in due course.
It's as if we've stepped into a painting.
What are you doing back here? Yeah, I know. I was just doing that now, idiot.
Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Interrogation Interregnum. I am the host, Kisby Hunter. This week I am delighted to host a scholarly debate. The issue, reducing the likelihood of endangered servitude of weakness. To mitigate the issue, I am joined by Cecily Sugar, a barrister representing Chief Justice's chambers. She's a trustee of the 99ers, a civil rights organization advocating for indentured leniency. Ladies and gentlemen, Cecily Sugar. We're also delighted to welcome back a regular guest, a traditionalist noble with a wealth of military experience, currently serving as the Chief Accounting Officer for the Bureau of the Indentured Fiscally Terminal and Amortized Peoples. He is also the author of Lazy London and the recent follow-up, Pregnancy, Lazy Guts, or Productive Runs. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for the Duke of Richmond, Gregory James Pritchard.
Good afternoon.
I'll start with you, Miss Sugar. Do you really believe the fiscally irresponsible are capable of integrating into society? Do we not risk the virulent spread of mental as well as fiduciary vagrancy?
Imagine if they get into the schools.
I don't think anyone is advocating we'd release these people directly into the education system.
Not yet, but please don't kid yourselves. It's coming.
Roger, I can sense you'd like to respond to Cecily's ranting.
Respond? I haven't said anything yet.
The only one that's surprised by that is you.
Miss Sugar, if you can hold your interruptions and wait until the appropriate time to respond. Duke Pritchard, please continue.
Thank you kindly, Kidsby. Very passionate, but unable to control their outbursts.
Apologies. I believe that's the minute timer for the opening speaker. Since Cecily used her time to interrupt you, we'll just turn it off.
What was I saying? Sorry, it's hard to follow with all these interruptions. Ah, that was it. These ghastly reformists will be all one hears. Shrill, droning voices spouting ill-informed opinions on matters they know nothing of. It's very simple. If you don't want to work under a custodian, don't get into debt in the first place. Indenture is a gift, given the right frame of mind. Consider 100 years of free tutelage and guidance under a temperate, wise hand.
Now, really, I must interrupt. A gift? Come on, how ridiculous. These people are practically slaves.
It really is tedious to have to deal with these insistent, histrionic interruptions.
I agree. Miss Sugar, I'm really going to have to ask you to control yourself.
You've not let me say anything, so I must make the opportunity myself. Indenture is the new face of an ancient experiment, the sanctity of debt.
What a claptrap! Debt accelerated the reconstruction of Westminster.
It was the rapacious force behind rebuilding, true. But by compelling people to pay their debts, they are forced to work. It renders those without capital in a potential state of subjugation.
And this terrible institution of debt, which you admit had powered the rise of Westminster, this terrible institution is undermined by reducing the 100-year term by 1% or a year, correct?
Yes, it's a modest decrease. But if we can start a conversation about debt relief, it'd be liberating to the majority of Londoners and...
Risible! People work. They must work. It forms their very being. People are incomplete unless motivated by profit. Inaction is death. The moment you break this covenant, unhealthy ideas enter the ecosystem.
Indeed, such talk has proved very dangerous in the past.
Precisely, Mr. Hunter. We're at a pivot point in history. Celsi, you fail to understand that you are meddling with forces you don't understand. You could awaken an atavistic deluge within society that would destabilize London.
I think it's very odd that an act of passion could be depicted as some sort of frenzied chaos.
You are a fool. A dangerous fool. She really must be taken off the air immediately. Is that what we're doing now, Kisby? Propagating seditious ideas?
No, we don't. You're right. It's a public safety issue at this point. I quite agree. Cut her microphone. It's time we brought out our final arguments. Obviously, Cecily has said quite enough for one day. Duke, can I have you please give us a closing argument, please?
No, I'd rather not. I think the public would be best served by wrapping this up as quickly as possible. We do not want to leave a lasting impression on the weak-minded. There is an important election coming up, and a stable transition is important for London.
Yes, I quite agree. Ladies and gentlemen at home, good evening from myself and everyone here at... Good heavens! Abandon the stage! Save yourselves! Ladies and gentlemen, while we have no reason to suspect there is a second device, we advise you to leave the area immediately.
Follow us to the exits, please.
Wait! Please don't go just yet. I've been waiting for someone like you. I understand this might sound rather dramatic, but you are my only hope. Because you are the key to my future. My name is Alsop, Clive Alsop, and I'm a composer. I dabble in a genre many call classical music, though I prefer more accurate terms like poetic or profoundly life-changing. Ever since I was a child, I've dreamed of performing my compositions to those noble tastemakers at the BBM. As they say, if you can make it at the BBM, you can make it anywhere.
Ah, a fellow listener! And yes, I love Fort Worth as well. Been listening to him since I was a little tot. You see, me and my orchestra, we came here in the hopes of spotting a BBM producer and handing them our tape. So far, we've been here for weeks and have had no such luck. But the time for action is nigh. The denouement, as it were. And once I saw you, I knew you were the perfect person for the job. Someone who can help us get into the BBM and gently force them to listen to our tape. Fantastic! Me and my orchestra shall accompany you into the BBM building. Now, I've heard from reputable personal sources that the BBM is heavily guarded by robotic security. So let's try to keep all violence to a strictly non-human basis.
I wish I could meet the Queen.
I live in fear knowing you people can reproduce.
Life at the top is immensely satisfying.
People have a negative attitude. That's what's stopping them.
you get tired of all this walking about? Pockets. It's where I keep my valuables.
Huzzah! We did it! What did we do again?
Other than destroy public property, not much. What are you imbeciles doing?
Am I invisible?
Hello?
Or are you an
Whoever
invalid?
you are.
Which is
I'm
it?
Clive Alsop. I'm a composer, and I want you all to listen to my tape.
Wait, is that what this is about? A bloody demo tape? Good God!
It's more than just a demo tape. It's my future, miss. Who are you again?
Patel Rayner, station manager. I'm the one who turned off those robots before they ripped you apart. Do you know how long it'll take me to fix them?
I apologize, Miss Rayner, but you have to understand. I did this because I live for classical music. Please give us a chance.
It's been so long since we've had any fans. No, fine. Come inside and stop hitting things.
So, you're this Alsop sword, eh? Funny. You don't look depressed enough to be a composer.
I'm Clive Alsop, the mastermind behind this entire affair. Could I please speak to Mr. Fort Worth?
Before you get all hyper, mate, there's something you should know. Bradley Fort Worth, he doesn't really exist.
I beg your pardon?
Well, at least not like you and me. See the giant machine behind me? That's Bradley Fort Worth. He's a living, breathing computer. Always has been. We can't tell him what to play because he has a mind of his own. Heck, we don't even know how to turn him off. Lost the manual a couple years back.
So, does this mean all of this was for nothing?
Not exactly. I can still play your tape for him, but at the end of the day, he's the boss. I just push some buttons.
What a conundrum.
If you're looking for a place to stay, try the 2 Westminster Chairmen. They're open to commoners. Have you ever left Westminster? The whole city smells like urine. You have questions? Read the paper. Huh? I think you've mistaken me for someone else, commoner.
I don't think you get it. You see, during our fight with the robots, I tried to perform a strategic maneuver, most commonly known as a rush attack. And while performing said maneuver, I slipped and fell right upon my side. Luckily, something in my pocket softened my fall. Unluckily, that something was the demo tape. Not on me, no. Thankfully, I do know where we can find a copy of the tape. Months ago, I sent one to Empire Records in the hopes of obtaining a record deal. In fact, their complete lack of a response is what spurred me to come here to the BBM. I want you to go to their store in Lewisham and recover my tape. They never replied to my many letters requesting the tape be returned, so they've either gone out of business or they're ignoring me out of spite. Either way, the tape is there. I would love to, but I'm afraid I need to stay here and make sure we don't get any flack for destroying half of the BBM's security system. I'm sure Miss Rayner will understand after I've properly explained my reasoning to her. Good luck!
visit outside the walls sometime. See how the other half live.
I'm in touch with humanity.
It must be horrible to live in places without luxury. What's that smell? Oh, it's you.
I wonder how long it would take for people to ruin this place.
can I help you? What's this about? Smythe? The civil servant? This is highly irregular, not to mention socially inappropriate. Can't you see I'm mourning the death of a close colleague and dear friend? Meaningless slaughter. A prodigious talent extinguished. You're implying you did this? Very well, I understand. There you go. More power to the faceless, unaccountable bureaucracy. Did it necessitate the death of a gifted young woman? God save us.
Another day, another crisis. Is it too early for a drink?
Why the rush? Do you have somewhere to be? God knows I don't.
I wonder if anyone would notice if I take a quick nap during this debate.
George, as your father used to say, you can nuke 'em, and the daft buggers would still vote us. Ha! Listen, I'll have to call you back. I've got some governing
the joys
to do.
of being a lord. I can fall asleep
Absolutely.
in the chamber and still get
Winning
paid.
an election makes you a pillory for the desperate. People really need to start dealing with problems themselves, instead of going straight to the Prime Minister. You think people want to be the Prime Minister? No. People are willing to be the Prime Minister. And I know what side my bread is buttered, just like you. The real power in this country put me where I am today. We both do what we are told. Let's see. A surprisingly prominent position for Smythe. This all appears in order. I'll get things in motion immediately. You can tell our mutual friend that I'll enjoy working with them.
I wish they'd privatize the government and be done with it.
I should really start writing my resignation letter, just in case.
I think I'd enjoy a good fox hunt. It's a shame they fight back now.
Why the rush? Do you have somewhere to be? God knows I don't. Another day, another crisis. Is it too early for a drink?
I wonder if anyone would notice if I take a quick nap during this debate.
Good day. If you're looking for Smythe, I'm afraid they're busy. But again, you already know that, don't you? You take care of yourself. Be seeing you.
Sorry to bother, Gov. Got a letter for you. You're very welcome. Have a nice day.
I do hope Father's proud of me.
Excellent. Now would you please sign these articles of office? By the power vested in me, by the office of the Lord Speaker, I declare you Lord Chancellor Smythe.
I thank you for this great honor, and I look
If
forward
I
to
see
working
one more up-and-comer peasant, I'll go mad.
in the present. Citizens of London, the situation has become intolerable. Violence has spilled onto the streets of London. Even inside this sacred borough, armed gangs of hoodlums are murdering each other. This has to stop.
Life at the top is immensely satisfying.
Will stop. This is my promise to you. To combat this epidemic of violence, I will take direct control of the situation. We cannot afford the chaos of indecision during this emergency. Power will return.
What's that smell? Oh, it's you.
And only once order has been restored. London is on the precipice, and we must fight for its survival. We must unite, as we always have countless times past, to defeat this great evil. I believe we are more than equal.
Maybe I'll visit outside the walls sometime. See how the other half live.
And God bless the United Kingdom.
people have a negative attitude. That's what's stopping them.